Welcome to Dental Business RX. Practice success in 30 minutes or less.
Thank you for calling ABC Dental.
I want you to take a minute and think about your behavior as a consumer, specifically how you react to marketing and what makes you decide to buy. Whether it's a billboard you've seen or maybe a postcard mailing you got at home for a business in your area, window cleaning or a tree service or whatever. Or maybe it's an ad you've run across on social media, Facebook, Instagram, or maybe it's something you Googled. So let's get into that mindset for a second. So whatever was advertised, it grabbed your attention and it made you want to find out more. So score 1 for the marketing. But what do you do next? You're interested. Well, if you're like the average person, you're going to visit their website. You're going to use a QR code, type in the URL, or click the ad if you're viewing it online. So you go check out the site, and assuming you're still interested, the website's done its job. What happens next? Well, again, for the average consumer, they're going to want to know what other people think about it. They're going to check out the reviews. You're going to want what we call social proof. So you Google it or you go to Yelp or Facebook to find out what other people have to say about this product. And for the most part, no matter how good the marketing was or how beautiful the website was, reviews are going to have a large bearing on your decision to move ahead or purchase this product or visit this company. If the reviews are good, you may move forward. Bad, and you'll have second thoughts. Or it may confirm your suspicion that it was all a scam. Even if a friend referred you, chances are these reviews and the overall rating for this business will have an impact on your decision-making process. So the question is, how do you get tons of great reviews and continue to accumulate more regularly and keep your business rating at a level that actually supports your marketing and growth? And that's what we want to talk about in this week's episode, how to get a ton of online reviews. My name is Jeff Bloomberg, and I'm your host, and I'm joined this week by Dan Brown, who is a senior consultant here at MGE. He's also a co-owner of Bloomberg Digital, which is a digital SEO and marketing agency. And if you've listened to the podcast for a while, you might remember Dan from a couple of other episodes earlier on, especially on some very hot marketing subjects. He is a marketing specialist. He's the marketing guy here at MGE and is an expert on pretty much all dental marketing channels, from social media, SEO, pay-per-click, social proof, and public relations. And we're very pleased to have him this week. So, Dan, I think we have you hooked up over there?
Yeah, I think we're all good.
Okay, good. So why don't we just jump into this? And I'm going to start off with, this might be a stupid question, but you obviously know this better than I do. How important statistically, what's the statistical impact of the whole review process or the idea of reviews, how many reviews it has or whatever?
Sure. So great question. The current statistic is that 88% of people are going to use online reviews in their purchasing process when they're going to make a purchase of any significance, and whatever that means for them. Significance is different based off of different income levels and such. But
sure,
think about what it takes for you when you have to think about buying something. It could be $15, it could be $30, it could be $3,000. When you're not thinking about it, then you're probably not going to use reviews. If you're like, yeah, whatever, yeah, I could afford to lose that. But at the point that it gets to a level somebody's going to think about that purchase, 88% of people are reading online reviews because they don't trust businesses today. They've been burned in the past, and that applies to me. I'm sure it applies to you. Everything looked good on the marketing, and then when you ordered something, it either didn't arrive or didn't arrive as advertised, or you just got burned. So 88% of people rely on online reviews, testimonials, social proof, like you said earlier.
Right. Well, it's interesting too, because I think about, like, even if I'm buying a supplement of some kind and there's 3 different brands, I might look at, obviously I'm going to look for, statements of purity and things like this, but yeah, you're looking at how it's reviewed, even though it's not an expensive thing, because they're not even looking at the cost. You're looking at what's the best direction to go. Yeah.
It's funny. I do these seminars and I say, right now, I want you to take your dental marketing hat off and just put it aside. Pretend you're not a dental marketing professional.
Sure.
And put your consumer hat on. As a consumer, when you go onto Amazon, how many of you feel the reviews are as important or more important than the product description? And by show of hands, just about everybody in the room raises their hand.
Oh, I agree, because anybody can say anything they want about a product.
Sure.
Yeah, it's actually probably the most important thing.
And when you look at all the time we spend on writing the copy for our website and doing all these different things, which are important things. I'm not saying they're not important, but then not to put the same importance on building reviews is a massive omission.
Sure. Interesting. Okay. Yeah. And it's funny because I think the trap people get into, especially when you're marketing your own product or service, is you don't do exactly like you just said. Put your consumer hat on.
Right.
That was the whole intro concept. Be a consumer for a second. Because we don't look at what do we do when we buy something. We think magically someone's just going to see our postcard and decide to just, call. They're not going to check us out online. They're not going to do this. They're not going to do that. But of course they're going to do it.
And it's a problem today. It's a problem when you listen to your dental marketing agency or your postcard company and listen to what they say and their design advice. And you don't have a marketing background. You don't know.
Sure.
But that's not totally true. As a consumer, you do know.
That's true.
And marketing is actually half won if you just first start to think like a consumer. You as a consumer, when you look at that piece of promotion, what do you think? How does it, sit with you? Is it impelling or is it too much text? Is it too small? These are the things we got to think with. And when it comes to reviews, oh my gosh. The second question I ask at a seminar, and this is...
Which, by the way, I should just throw this in there.
Yeah.
If you want to see Dan, like I said, Dan is the marketing guy, the marketing specialist. Dan is our primary speaker at the MGE New Patient Workshop. This is where our clients learn how to market, which I'll put a link to it in the episode webpage if you want to check it out.
Yeah. And one thing I ask people is I say, okay, good. So reviews are important. Now raise your hands if you've had patients that have come into the office and mentioned to you that they read your online reviews. Mm-hmm. And maybe all but one or two people raise their hand. And this is sometimes in a room of 200 people.
Sure.
So practices know that their patients are reading these reviews. What I don't think they know is how much these new patients are screening their practice via these reviews.
Right. Interesting. Okay, cool. So yeah, that obviously 88%, I would say that matters.
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right. So now this is kind of a longer question, but what matters the most? Like as far as in the calculation of all this, is it my overall rating? Is it the number of reviews I have? Can I have too few reviews? I probably should have broken this down into 4 or 5 questions, but I'm going to throw it at you. And how does this affect my SEO?
All great questions.
Okay.
So there's so many answers based off of circumstances. Uh-huh. So let's just give some general answers that would be kind of rule of thumb type answers. Okay, good. So for reviews, there is a fact that some people say if you have a 5-star rating, it's unbelievable. Mm-hmm. And 33% of consumers feel that a 5-star review rating is unbelievable unless you have 150 or more reviews.
Really? Okay, because I had the datum that usually 5-star people think you're a scam.
Right.
Right? Oh, yeah, they probably just paid somebody to put a bunch of 5 stars. But if I have more than 150 reviews, it becomes credible at that point.
It becomes credible.
Okay.
Obviously, if you have 5 stars, don't go rushing out for a negative review.
I know that people ask me that. Should I get a lower
No. It's going to come. But especially if you start, really expanding and applying all these principles that you lay out in this podcast, it's going to come. But 5 stars isn't the ideal or optimum. 4.9 stars is the best. And for a dental practice, never less than 4.7 stars.
Okay, so if I'm a doc, I want never less than 4.7. 4.9 is where I want to live.
4.9 is ideal. 4.8, okay. 4.7, you're on the edge.
Okay.
150 reviews minimum.
So any dental practice?
Any dental practice. And that's with this caveat. If you're in a neighborhood where all the other dental practices, it would be I understand dentists don't look at them as competition, but competitive offerings to other consumers. If they're sitting at 350, 500, 750, 150 isn't going to cut it.
Okay.
So the best thing to do is search dentist in your city, state, dentist in, your zip code. And perhaps if you're a periodontist, you're an endodontist, you're, an orthodontist, obviously search those things.
Sure.
And look at what comes up there and really scroll through the top 30 or 40 results. And this is where it gets kind of interesting. It can be scary, but it can also be fun. And here's what I mean by that. And this is what we teach in the New Patient Workshop is this is the opportunity to say, okay, good. The highest number of reviews in my area is 550 and we're sitting at 60. Good. Now we're going to play a game with our team, our staff, to hit and be the most highest rated practice in our area. And it's going to take a little bit of time.
Sure.
But with the system that we teach, it's not that long. And then not only become the highest rated, but then become the highest rated by almost 2 times. And that's what many of our clients here at MGEU hear it all the time.
Oh, yeah.
They're saying, we are not only the highest rated, but we're outnumbering our other competitive offerings in our area by 2 or 3 times.
Wow. Yeah, and it's smart. We have, we had one of our clients make a video where they're the highest rated dental practice in Queens, that's tough.
That's tough.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Yeah.
And they use this simple system that we're going to talk about today.
And they also had the most reviews.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah.
All right. So obviously I want minimum 150. So less than 150 is not enough.
Yeah, and it doesn't mean that you go into apathy if you're not there. Right. If you have 5 reviews, then we're going to show you today what exactly to do.
But then how does this, from an SEO perspective, because I saw when you were lecturing recently, you were kind of alluding to what Google's looking at now. Yeah. So obviously Google's looking at how many reviews I have. They're looking at my rating. Is there anything else that factors into this?
So there's 4 criteria around reviews when it comes to SEO. There's 220 criteria that Google use in order to rank your practice organically. So when someone searches, you have ads at the top.
Sure.
Those are paid ads. Anything that's not a paid ad is called organic.
Sure.
So 1 out of 11 people click on ads. 10 out of 11 will always scroll down and look for an organic response.
Can you say that again, just because I want that to be burned into people's brains? So let's describe this scenario, because someone might be listening to this in car and that might have just kind of gone, by them real quick.
Sure.
So you're saying, if I Google dentist near me and I get, the first page of results, and the first 2 or 3 say sponsored or ad, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so 1 out of 11 people who typed in dentist near me are going to click the ad.
That's right.
Okay. The remaining 10 are going to click the ones that appear naturally.
That's right.
So what you're referring to now is how to appear higher naturally.
Organically, yeah.
Yeah, this is critical.
Yeah,
okay,
critical.
Good. Sorry.
And 1 out of 11 is, for most people in most places, that's a lot of people.
That's true,
ads,
10%.
Ads work, but you're literally missing out on 10 out of 11, and that's huge. So there's 220 criteria that comprise how you get to rank at the top organically, but 4 of those are around your Google reviews. Okay. So 1 is your number of reviews. 1 is your ranking, your rating, 4.6, 4.9, etc. The 3rd is how frequently you add reviews.
Okay.
And now 4th, they've just added, are you responding to the reviews you're getting? Are you answering them?
Wow.
Interesting is, out of those 4, the most highly weighted of those criteria are how frequently you add reviews.
Which I don't think people think with. No. I think, okay, I got my 500. Let's say I'm playing the game. Top guy had 550, and I got to keep pace with this dude. So we were at 60. We played the game. The staff won. We all made it a big thing. We did 600. Yeah. But then we all kind of relax.
Right.
So now we're not adding a lot of new reviews. That's going to hurt me.
That's telling Google that we were awesome before, and for some reason, we're not awesome anymore.
Okay.
That tells Google, hey, we were good in the past, but we're not as good as we were in the past.
Okay.
So remember, Google isn't going through and actually, sending someone out to evaluate you or your practice or your website. They're using metrics, right? Algorithms, these things that tell, well, if this, then that. So that algorithm tracing how frequently you add reviews is telling Google, hey, we're on it. We're good, and we continue to be good. So that's 1. This next one that they just added, are you responding to these reviews, is fantastically important as well, because Google is seeing, not only are you good, but you're staying in touch with these people. There's good communication, and that's good business practice. So that's also important. Responding to your positive reviews, and of course, answering your negative reviews, which we tell you how to do at the New Patient Workshop far deeper than what we could cover today.
Well, and I think we were talking earlier, I'd like to do a separate episode on that, responding to negative reviews, because there's all the HIPAA considerations that pop in. And
super
whatever.
important. You have to do it, but you have to do it right.
Right. Yeah, because especially for healthcare. Yeah. You're not running a furniture store.
And one other element, I'm just going to tell you, this is interesting. So Google is now indexing these reviews.
Okay.
So what does that mean? Well, okay, somebody says, this is the best dentist I've ever been to. It's the most pain-free dentistry I've ever experienced. I got a dental implant and I can't explain other than it's totally changed my life. Thank you, Dr. Smith and your team. You guys are amazing.
Okay.
All of that is now being indexed by Google. So when I search pain-free dentistry dental implant, that is going to be assisted by that review.
So they're using the review text as search criteria.
Correct.
Wow.
So yeah, if somebody wants to just leave a star rating and that's it, no comment, okay. But the system that we go over today is also encouraging the person to be expressive in their experience during the review process, not just was a good experience, like these guys, highly recommend. Nothing wrong with that,
Right.
But you're missing out on massive opportunity. Now it can get weird when you start asking the consumer, well, hey, can you just say a few
Type in
more
these
words?
keywords.
If you could just type it. But, listen, when it comes to dentistry, you can't say we're pain-free, but you know what? Your patients can.
That's true.
Your
That's
patients
true.
can.
I think eventually it's just going to morph into where an artificial intelligence tells you which dentist you have to see. Right? Yeah. The direction we're going. Yeah. Anyway, I'll stay off that.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Okay, so now let's get the rubber hitting the road here.
Yeah.
So we see how important it is. So I'm a dentist. I've got 100 reviews, 50 reviews, whatever. I want to get more.
Yeah.
What would you tell me to do?
So the real target, actual, organic, honest reviews should be 10 to 15 a week.
Okay.
And, generally when I tell our attendees at the new patient workshop that, they want to throw up in their own mouth. Like they get 15 reviews in a year.
Sure.
So it just seems unreal. No, it's very real. But there are
Which I've seen you do this with tons of clients.
Yeah,
so I know
no,
this is
our
real.
clients do it. And when they do it, they say, oh my gosh, the number of new patients we're getting just from our reviews. We read your reviews and we're here. We chose your practice because of your awesome reviews. And ask your staff right now, just ask your team, how many times do patients mention, hey, we read your reviews? It'll probably startle you.
Right.
But there are probably 5 different things that you need to think with on getting a volume of reviews. First and foremost is you got to get the review when the patient's in the practice.
Okay.
It's the most important thing. And many of our clients have a software platform that will send out a text saying, how was your experience? Click here, leave a review.
Sure.
Think about it as a consumer, when you go to Home Depot or Lowe's and they say, great, if you wouldn't mind scanning this QR code and leaving a review, you want to. The person was nice. They were professional, but you got your shopping cart. You go to the car, you load your car and, put your cart away and then you navigate out of the parking lot. And by that time you have forgotten about that
That's true.
very nice person at Lowe's or, Home Depot.
Right.
So you got to get the review when the patient is in the practice, right then and right there.
Okay.
And this often is, people are mystified. Wait, I was told I can't ask for reviews when the person is actually at the place of business.
Right, because you don't want them on your Wi-Fi, so it looks like it's all coming from the same place.
And you don't want them on your Wi-Fi. So if you have guest Wi-Fi, fantastic, but put a password on it. If you got a password on it, change the password. Guest Wi-Fi is great for the kids when they're waiting for their parents and they're on Minecraft or whatever. But most people have a data plan and they don't need your Wi-Fi.
Sure.
So that's the only reason that a review would be potentially marked fraudulent if they're coming from a centralized device. So that would be a Wi-Fi router. So all these mobile phones are going into this Wi-Fi router, which has an IP address, an Internet Protocol address.
Right.
And now Google and Yelp think, oh, this is all coming from the same device.
Right.
Or if you had an iPad or a centralized computer, don't do that. But all the review platforms, starting with Yelp actually started the review platforms. They encouraged, and it was for restaurants, they encouraged their reviewers to do it when they were at the restaurant, take a few photos of the restaurant. They want that. Google wants that. Facebook wants that. So they want your patient to do it when they are at the practice right then and there.
So would I to ask the patient, if I'm obviously you're going to show me how to do this, but would I ask them to turn off their Wi-Fi for a sec?
They could do that. I would almost suggest just changing your password on your guest Wi-Fi. It's a bit of a hassle since some people don't know how to deactivate or turn off their Wi-Fi of their phone. And now say they need your, Wi-Fi or you need to go through this hassle. Yeah. And they don't know how to do it. Say, well, can I help you with that?
Sure.
Swipe down, turn the Wi-Fi off. Help them out with it. It's worth it. It's worth it.
Okay. So then, all right. So you want me to do, I'm there, I'm in the dental practice. You want me to do this now?
Yeah.
Okay. So now how's this going to go?
So I can't ask you to leave a positive review. That violates the terms of service of Google, Facebook, and Yelp. So I can ask you, however, to leave an honest review. But a lot of people are backed off, especially the doctors. Can you leave me a review? I'd really like it if you could. They just feel that it's a bit sleazy to do so. So there's an exact way to do it. And you preface that question with a couple others. So let's just do a demonstration right now. If you wouldn't
let's
mind.
do it. So let's say I'm a hygiene patient.
Great.
Well, and I'd probably be more for, we're going to be getting probably more reviews
Both?
from, okay, but let's take, you've just finished some veneers on me.
Yeah.
Okay, so are you the doctor or?
I'll be the assistant.
Fine, you're the dental assistant.
Yeah.
Veneers are in, I've looked in the mirror, they look great, I'm super happy. All right.
Jeff, how'd it go today?
Oh, awesome. I'm so glad. This looks so good.
Fantastic. It's what we love to hear. We've looked in your file and you've been to other dental practices in the past, but you keep coming back to us. We must be doing something right.
Yeah, definitely.
Can I ask what we do better or different than other practices you've been to?
Well, I've been coming here a while. I don't know. I just love the doc. Doc does a great job. You guys seem to really understand me and you always take care of me.
Fantastic. Well, we work hard to get those results, so I'm really happy to hear you feel that way. The reason I'm asking is that today consumers, they don't want to hear from a business about a business. They want to hear from people who've been to that business. And that applies to our new patients who are looking for a dental practice. Jeff, could I ask you to take 2 minutes? Just sit here right in that chair and share those same kind words that you just shared with me with an online review?
Yeah, sure. Can we take a selfie too?
Let's do that.
Yeah, because then people like doing that stuff.
People
don't they?
love that, and Google and Yelp and Facebook love it when there's also a photo to attach to that.
Can we get the doc in here too?
Let's get him.
Okay, so I take a selfie with me and the doc and the assistant because I don't want to clue you out. You've been nice. So that we take a photo. I type in a review. Doctor so-and-so is awesome. Look at this. I don't have a before photo, but it looked really bad. Blah, blah, blah. Check this office out. Yak, yak.
And then there's this scenario. So I'm going to ask that same question, and I want you to be just a little bit busy. You got to get back to work.
Okay.
So the reason I'm asking is that today people, they don't want to hear from a dental practice about themselves. They want to hear from other consumers. So would you mind sharing those same kind of words you just mentioned to me in an online review?
Yeah, sure. Can I just send me a link and like a Google review? I can do it when I get home.
I'd love to do that. Absolutely. I can absolutely do that. Jeff, we're playing a game inside the office.
Okay.
That if we get 10 reviews in this week, right, which ends tomorrow, Friday, he has to buy us all Starbucks on Monday.
Really?
Yeah. We're so close. It'd just take 2 minutes. Would you help us out?
Doesn't have to be long, does it?
No.
Okay, good. Fine. Okay, good. Yeah, I got a minute.
Right there. And play that game with
Oh
the
yeah,
staff.
I'm not gonna cost you your Starbucks.
Yeah, right. And patients love it. They love helping the team that have just serviced them beyond expectation.
But you know what's interesting about that too? Obviously, if the doc had asked me, I would have. Even if they said the staff's playing a game, I probably would have jumped in. But the fact that a staff member tells me they're playing the game, I want to help them out. Right. Make it work.
And a staff member can even say, hey, when we hit 600 reviews, doctor's taking us all to Disney World in Florida.
Oh, yeah.
Do you see? And what people love is that I didn't ask for a positive review. I didn't ask for you to say something specific.
Sure.
But I did ask you before I asked you that question, what makes us better or different than other dental practices?
Right. So I wasn't holding my mouth going, oh, that hurt today. You probably didn't talk to me at all.
Right, exactly.
Just make sure I was okay.
So that right there is the system that we teach. And of course, making this quick by having a QR code right there that a person can just pull out their phone, scan the QR code, and immediately go to your Google profile, leave the review, snap a photo or two. And that process right there, start to finish, is 2 minutes.
That's true. And just not to be too exacting, but for the QR code, should have a little placard in the office or on the wall or something like that.
Great to have a QR code in every operatory, in the consult room and at reception, laminated, ready to go.
Like in a little plastic holder or something.
Yeah. And, some people say, well, I don't know if I want to post it because what if you get kind of, the sour patient that comes in, it wasn't a good fit for the practice. You don't want them. Well, they're welcome to leave a review too, but certainly have them available that a staff member can pull it out if it's not posted everywhere. I would post it everywhere.
Okay, so you got the QR code, show me the QR code. I scanned it, boom, right on the Google page or Yelp or wherever I'm leaving it. Boom, I'm done. I finish the review and I'm off.
That's right.
Okay. And then what type of game are you playing with teams? So like you told them they're getting Starbucks. So they're actually getting Starbucks if they get
They're
10 this
getting
week.
Starbucks, or you survey your team. Maybe it's Starbucks. Maybe it's we have Dr. Dill downstairs. He plays for 25 reviews a week, and if they get 25 reviews, it's a bigger practice, right?
Sure.
So they're seeing a larger patient flow. But 25 reviews in a week, and he buys everybody lunch on Monday.
Oh, wow. And you could do, I guess if you get 100, they could have a fancy dinner out somewhere or a shopping spree. And if you get, like you said, 600, everybody can go to a theme park or whatever.
Play the game, survey the team. It's so worth it. When people are spending all this money on their Google ads, which is right, spend that money on your Google ads. Spending all this money on a proper SEO specialist, spend that money. That's well spent. But don't cheap out here on your own team. And these are the ones that initially are going to be quite shy when we do the new patient workshop. We kind of do some role play drilling of this, right? But even the first week or two of our clients, they're stumbling through that, good. But roll through that, burn through that, and then you find your footing, you find your wording, you find your step, and now you're pumping out 10, 15 reviews a week.
Right.
And you're at 150 in a blink of the eye, and then now you're surpassing everybody else in the area.
And I know it's tough, but and you've gone over a couple numbers here, right? But it's tough to put a value on this. So it's just like, let's put a value on this for a second, because 88% of consumers are looking at online reviews. Less reviews than anybody in your area is dangerous. Less than 150 is dangerous. It has everything to do with my SEO. So let's say I'm that office with 50 reviews and I got my team to play a game. I'm only saying this so that people can look at the value associated with this for the value that they're giving the team for the game, right? But if I were to go from 50 to 600 reviews, let's say in a year or less than a year, the whole team, pulls together, we get 600 reviews. What would you say the financial value? What would I have had to spend? Well, obviously I couldn't spend money to get those reviews, but how much money is that going to be to the business? What value is that to the business?
Probably about 100 to 150 grand.
Wow. And that's just that year, most likely.
Yeah.
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 Wow. Okay. So that's something to think with when I'm making the game. It's definitely worth spending that money on the team.
If you're the top reviewed practice in your area with 4.9, or at that point, you probably have 5 stars because all the negative reviews get washed out.
Right.
Right. Which is totally acceptable. You got 5 stars, 600 reviews. You got a decent website. You've got a decent web presence. Your Google business profile looks pretty nice. And you are a true representation of that. So when I arrive in the practice, it really is a warm, friendly, family practice feel, which that's what we generally find with our clients. That already exists. So all that matches up. Just watch what happens with your new patients.
Yeah. Wow. That's intense. And then is there any specialization or changes I need to make? So, most of our listeners are in the U.S., but we do have quite a few in Canada and other parts of the world as well. But is there any changes I would make? Because we have a lot of clients from Canada if I'm doing this in Canada.
Sure. So there are changes for Canada and California.
For California too?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'll tell you what that is. It's an element we haven't talked about yet. This element you cannot do in California or Canada, which is we tell our clients to put a big basket full of gifts, chocolates, electric toothbrush, gift cards, some cool special soaps, some gourmet teas or coffee, and have it in a nice plastic wrap right at reception with a sign that says, "Ask how to win me."
Okay.
And right next to that is a little box where you have, people who have dropped their name in there on a little card that you have made. And people say, well, hey, so how do you win that basket? Oh, well, we draw a name out of this box here every 2 weeks. Oh, okay. How do you get your name in the box? Well, great question. If you leave a review online, we put your name in that box.
Got it.
If you refer another patient who schedules while you're right here in the practice, we put your name in 5 times.
Got it.
That is not a direct remuneration for somebody leaving a review. So
because technically I may not get it because you're going to draw out of this box.
Draw it, right.
So if my name doesn't come up, I didn't get it. It's not like every patient's getting this.
Correct. So it doesn't violate the terms of service of Google.
No, that makes sense.
But California and especially Canada say you cannot have any sort of reward like that for a review.
Right.
So you can't do that in California. I do know a number of people who still do that in California, but we can't recommend this here publicly.
Yeah.
And Canada, same.
Got it. All right. So if I'm in Canada, but the initial conversation we just had, hey, Jeff, how did you feel about The Office? Would you mind leaving a review? Can I tell the patient that we're playing a game to win Starbucks this week?
100%, because that's internal.
Got it. And they get no benefit from it at all.
Correct.
Got it.
No.
Well, you know what's awesome about this is it's simple, but it's been proven out.
Yeah.
Because I look at our clients and heck, if you go to MGE's Google My Business page, and how many reviews do we have now? We have
1,100?
1,100 reviews. And a lot of the reviews are about the new patient workshop as well as getting more reviews, which is awesome. Yeah. So this works.
Yeah,
I mean, you may think, it's not some fancy system and that was the problem with a lot of these fancy systems. You'd have people would leave reviews through XYZ service. It wouldn't make it onto Google, or you'd lose the reviews if you stopped subscribing.
That's right.
You own these reviews forever. They're yours. And this has a huge bearing on your business. And like most powerful things, they are simple. So, and this has been awesome, Dan. And if you want to see Dan, by the way, Dan is, as I mentioned, the main speaker at the MG New Patient Workshop. I have the link on the episode webpage. And also, Dan, you did a course for our online platform, DDS Success. I think it's just under dental marketing, but you have a whole section on reviews in there, don't you?
That's right. Cover this even in more detail there.
Wow. So thank you so much. This was awesome. I think, I hope you guys enjoyed it. It's extremely powerful. You can start using it right away. And if you have any questions about MGE, you can find us online at mgeonline.com or call us at 800-640-1140. Also, Dan, you mentioned it's okay to give out your email address.
Absolutely.
If you have a marketing question, I'll put a link to Dan's email also on the episode webpage. You can email Dan at B as in boy, at mgeonline.com. Yeah? Okay, good. I think that about wraps it up. Thanks again.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Folks, have a great week, and we will see you at the next episode.